Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan, who is head of the Civil Service of the Federation, says Nigeria has the best civil service in the world. She stated this on Saturday in Abuja during a sporting event organized for workers as part of activities to mark the 2024 Civil Service Week. And according to her, our civil service in Nigeria is better and is actually best in the entire world, and she can stand on her words. Where do we start from? Chief of Force, please help us.
You see, the problem I have basically is with my profession, the media. You know, why did I say that? Now, this story is flying everywhere. Nobody could ask Mrs. Esan, what are your bases?
Parameters.
What are the parameters? In what area? You cannot obviously say that we are the best in everything. Are we the best in punctuality in the first place? Are we the best in productivity? What has any civil servant in this country ever invented? We have scientists working with civil service. We have engineers. What are the innovative offerings that is coming from the civil service that even the private sectors will adopt? None. None. Now, perhaps the Nigerian civil service are the best in terms of going to work and engaging in their own trade. If that is what you mean, I concur with her. That Nigerian civil servants have penchant for selling groundnut in the office, selling clothes, selling recharge card, selling everything and closing early. Coming late and closing early. Today, he has forgotten that Mr. President just said something that read it over the weekend, that every civil servant who left this country and still collecting salary will have to return that money, or their department X pay for it. They are part of civil service. He didn't mention that. He said because when we face camera, we want to, because I saw something going on over the weekend, trying to quote the people in the government and trying to use whatever the publisher of business they say, Frank Aigbo, was talking about, that the journalism is about bringing the investors back to the country, not trying to destroy it. You are talking about that as far as I'm concerned. I cannot tell an investor that if they are, for instance, if there is banditry that has been taken over by this local government, for instance, the Kenya local government, and you find out that there is a serious banditry going on there, anybody that their step is food on it will be kidnapped, and I will go and write in the paper. That is irresponsible journalism. A journalist is about gathering an information and giving it to the people and for the good of the society that is truth. The government do not want to say it all over the world. If we do that here in Nigeria, it's serious, and that's what we are doing. So the woman has said it. It's a headline. We run with it. Online are picking it. They are sharing it. It's trending. What are the basis? What are the parameters?
Well, to quote Mrs. Esan, according to her, the Nigerian civil servants, have the tenacity to stand on their own, even when they are going through.
That is what I'm saying. Of course, I have already agreed with her before. You read that. That standing on their own is that even if they don't collect salary for a whole year, they can still go on. They can go to work because there's other ways to make money. There is contract. They can procurement. They can be part of it. They are making money. They are selling clothes.
All right.
Abi?
Okay.
Let's hear from you. Let's off your mic for a while. Okay.
Sometimes you have to say something, even when it doesn't mean much. He has to. He's the head of the civil service. So what do you think? What do you expect her to say? She has to talk good of her department. And then that also helps the image of the country and the administration. So she's doing what she has to do. But then I have issue with the basis for determining being the best. I think the basis is regrettable that they are resilient. They can survive anything. Even if you don't pay them, they're there. Even when hunger is ravaging everybody, they're there. That's the wrong reason to, that's the wrong basis for determining the best. Actually, the civil service in Nigeria must be one of the worst, because Nigeria, according to this periodic, I think yearly corruption index, ranks among one of the most corrupt countries in the world. And the civil service is the engine of corruption. Those days, in countries of the world, you go for public services, they offer you the service and don't expect anything from you. In Nigeria, I went, those days I was new to Nigeria. I went to get information. They gladly gave me the information. Expect I'll pay them something. I did not pay. Didn't expect. I didn't know I was to pay. When I came the next time, the way they made jest of me, twisted me around, insulted me. So then somebody told me that I have to pay them something. So I went back and started paying for their information and everything.
They became your friend.
They all became my friend. Okay. So how can that be one of the best civil servants in the world? Punctuality, they go to work at 11 a.m., 12 noon, and by 3 p.m. they are gone. And that is affecting productivity. You talked about productivity. You talked about invention. Nigeria was trying to manufacture pencil at the time. It was in the news that the Ministry of Science and Technology was working on production of pencil. Maybe if you go to China or if you go to parts of Europe, they started making pencil maybe hundreds of years ago. And in the best civil service in the world, we are still struggling to produce pencil. So I think it was talking for the sake of talking, pandering or playing to the gallery, you know, grandstanding. And we forgive her because she has to keep her job and make this Nigerian civil servant that he heads look good.
Thank you, Mr. Zukama.
You guys came with cutlasses, cudgels, and hammer.
Everything.
Well, I'm not going to say that we have the best civil service in the world. Because if the Nigerian police is part of the civil service, and with what we are through in their hands,
the Nigerian police is public service.
No, I'm just trying to establish it. Then, because now, if you report a case, you will have to mobilize them. Before, I had a case that reported in July last year. I wrote the CP officially. He assigned the case to their age, and I was asked to pay 50,000 naira, and I paid. Till today, neither the case has been treated, and my 50K returned. I'm only waiting for July to come. It will be the first year anniversary of my petition. I will write again and remind the city. So anywhere you go, what do you see? Corruption, malfeasance, misdemeanor, and then lack of right attitude to work. So how anybody will sit anywhere and now qualified as best? I don't understand. Maybe best has a new meaning that we don't know. Yes, you know, we all left school a long time ago. Professor Lumumba was making a speech. If you know him, he said, was it him or no? President of Kenya, Bruno, said Nigerians are fond of saying that they are the biggest economy in Africa. He said biggest in world. That when I open my fridge, there is no product from Nigeria. What you see are from China, from Japan, from here. So what makes Nigeria the biggest? Is it just about mouthing? So what that woman has done is just mouthing. I rest my case.
Thank you, Aaron.
2011. This bad boy came to my house, took a car. I suffered. I was working with independent. You know how we are poorly paid and what we could do. A lot of things that you could do aside your work to buy a car. He took my car, took my laptop, drove away, took my phone. I went to a police station in Angi. I reported the IPO. Is that not what you call it?
Yeah,
the
investigation.
person assigned to do the investigation turned me into a tax collector. Whenever I get to Yonopaja, he will branch to my house. And we are going to this place tomorrow, 20,000. We are going to this place tomorrow. The last time he came, 3 months later, I told him, I have bought a new car. I don't want that car. So that at the end of the day, I will not end up buying a new car to police when I'm supposed to save money to buy another one. The people that are supposed to look for a car that has security cannot. So how do you expect me to call those people the best? And the most annoying thing in this country is that when they go to US, they are celebrated after a short course. I don't know maybe there is something wrong with this country, which I don't think.
The value system.
I am in this country and I know something is not wrong with this country.
Something is wrong with this country.
Maybe something is wrong with the
Something
system.
is wrong, please.
Something is wrong with the system.
My
I'm
MBA thesis, I wrote on why things don't work in Nigeria. The prof supervising me was very angry, and he said, "Look, I will see how you will pass with this your topic." The day of defense, about 5 of them, they were waiting, smoking, and I carefully, without even touching my project, answered their questions, and I supplied them with examples. At the end of the day, they now asked me what's my conclusion. I said, perhaps there is a curse of me
now.
Otherwise,
What
what do you see everywhere you turn to? Fraud.
No, I don't believe so. Maybe if I were one of the professors seated in that
excuse
table,
me,
maybe I would have told you something. I think it's a system.
Excuse me, you know how to share my opinion, because we've seen so many interventions. We've seen Kai, we've seen Y, we've seen so many.
It's about
At the end of the day, we are worse off. The other day, Masojo was saying that democracy, Western democracy is not working here, and it should bring about Afro democracy. And I asked, what is a democracy? Democracy has no issue. The operators of the levels of power in Nigeria are the problem.
Let me tell you,
and it's the same thing when we say civil service.
Let me give you an example.
Excuse me, we've been chance to live outside Nigeria in different.
Let me give you an example.
But even when
let him land on
we've
this
been
point.
chance to live outside Nigeria, we've related with people, and you wonder. My first experience in Japan, when I got there as a student, I saw a shirt that I wanted, but the man said I should sit down. I was like, let me go. He said, no, don't wait. He now called the store. They brought the same shirt. The one I was trying to buy had shorter arm. You know, Japanese, Koreans, they have shorter arms. So now brought the one designed for Africans and other nationalities. I was like, God, if it was then Oshodi was the big shop, it's the shopping center. If it was Oshodi, my guys would just say, see now, and it will even be longer than my arm. By the time I will get to, I've gone back to its original. So when people are doing that, I mean, everywhere you go, the conductor will collect your money, will not give you shit. You are buying petrol at the petrol station, they are changing you. Supermarket, they are selling expired products, all manner of things. You ask yourself, why?
There is nothing like us. That is where I'm going.
It's not a cost.
That's where I'm going to. There is nothing like us. I am saying here that we have people that have been distinguished in what they do in this country. But I think it's a system. It's a systemic problem. Let me give you an example. Don't forget, just recently, a governor came out and said, in the past administration, they are printing money that is not generated by demand and supply.
No fiduciary.
It's not a trade-based money. We said, keep quiet. What do you know? The government send people, devote money for campaign and call in names. Abi, is that the cause? In this country, we have Prof. Naj. When he was doing things for electricity in this country, what happened? They bring it, drop up charges, and they sacked him. We have a man who could have simply said, become our president, called Adesina. When he handled agriculture in this country, there was still banditry. They were Boko Haram. What the magic the man did in agriculture in this country was enormous. What happened? He went back to Africa. Abi, is that
African Development Bank?
Abi, we have people. It is not a cause. I'm coming, sir. There is no cause anywhere. It is a people's problem. We don't want good things. Now, what happened? When, as soon as you become Are sitting down here today, I'm using Are as a sample. Are sitting down today talking about this thing. Please, may Tinubu government see Are tomorrow and give Are one appointment. If you call Are to this station, he will not come. Do you know why? They will ask him questions that is going to make him talk the truth. Why? He will not come. We have people that were coming to this with us in the past. Patient can bear weakness to that. Because of what they are eating from government. They stop coming. Because at one show like this in this place, I'm talking about what is happening here. We almost quarreled. They were talking. After the show, they said they will never come again. Do you know why? We are trying to use needle to bust where the food is coming from. But that's the truth. But in other clients, whether you are eating from the government, the moment you don't like something, you say this thing is not good.
But there's hardship in Nigeria. If you lose that your job, you'll be in trouble.
Nobody's going to be in trouble.
Your village people that used to respect you will start snubbing you, insulting you. So it's for survival. I used to be a car salesman, and the owner of the place made like $6 million a year in profit. But he will come from his office, go across the street, buy coffee and burger, come into his office and be eating. We used one toilet, the salesmen, the messengers, the cleaners, the managers, and the owner of the place. One toilet, all of us. And I was telling a certain young lady called Nia, 23-year-old girl, that if this were in Nigeria, all you young women were serving this man hand and leg. He will be ordering you about and maybe sleeping with you. The woman, why? Why is that? Lack of opportunities. That Nia can walk out from that place the next minute and have other things to do. But in Nigeria, even the young woman wants to be close to the Oga because of the extra money. He will buy my mother a car. He might build us a house. So there's scarcity in the land. What you call weaponization of poverty. People are poor and desperate. That's one thing. Another thing is value system. The Nigerian culture is opportunistic. What do I mean by that? I used to drive a taxi and I had no papers for driving a taxi, and the owners of the company knew that police can arrest me anytime and seize my taxi.
In the US?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, after school I had no job, I drove a taxi. So they gave me the worst of the taxes, that even if the police seize the taxis, they don't mind, because I've paid them some money weekly. So the tax was always breaking down. A Nigerian will see you with your hood up. Nigerians call it bonnet. With your bonnet up, meaning your car has broken down. He knows you. He looks this way, he drives past you. And
drive past you?
Yes.
He says, nobody drive past you. People came and they stopped you.
I'm coming. An Eritrean, an Ethiopian will stop and say, my African brother, what is the problem? A Hispanic man on the other side will make a U-turn. Stop. Amigo, que pasa? A Nigerian will pass. They only come around and they can benefit something from you. If you're rich, people cluster around you. You get broke the next minute, everybody runs away. So it's a value system. Our policemen go on overseas assignment and do outstandingly well. They get accolades, medals, awards, that's the word. But in Nigeria, they go back to you chop a dog, or go waiting there your boot, money, bring money. See, so it's the system, it's the value system, it's the culture. That's it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Esan. Let's just keep within the issue at hand.
The context.
Because so much has been said outside of the context. But the reality is that Mrs. Esan was wrong in classifying the civil service as the best in the world.
Thank you, everybody. All right, so according to the head of service, Nigeria's civil service is the best in the whole world. And this statement, if you have been following, is what my guests have been trying to tear apart. What exactly makes us best? To re-echo what you have said, Mr. Chief of Force, is it in punctuality? Is it in productivity? Let's have specifics, okay? How are we the best? Having said that, though, isn't there a good side to our civil service? Isn't there a good side to our civil service?
The only good side to our civil service, I can tell you, is a strike for salary increment.
The strike?
Yes, that's the only good side.
Being part of the
they like to go on strike.
Okay.
Not as often as they should.
Increment of salary. See, at the end of the day, civil service across the world are productive. They work like private sectors. Yeah. You cannot say you are a civil servant and you cannot do anything. And that's why people pay so much money to get into civil service. They knew that at the end of the day, they are whatever. They go, even when they, like now, I saw somebody in my place throwing a party. He's a director. Say, this minimum wage, even if it's 60,000 or 62,000 as federal government is proposing, that is made. Ask him what he has brought to the table. For the last 22 years and 3 years he has worked in the civil service. You see, at the end of the day, if that's why a lot of people are running away from the private sector. I reckon testify to that because he's a private sector man. All right. Some of them cannot stand it. When they come and say, what do you want to work? I was discussing with Ezukama this morning. One that came to work for me, and he said he's supposed to go and become an advert canvasser. And he said the problem is our work is to sit down in the office and serve me tea. I said, I don't want tea. Don't serve me tea. My wife has given me tea. So why do you want to serve me tea? Me, I don't even stay in the office. So go out and do your job. He said no, that he like a PA work. I said, I don't want PA.
you be governor when you don't want PA. And those days in the 70s, I worked at the Enugu Urban Council. We opened at 8 a.m. And if you come at 8:15, your supervisor will be harassing you. Your supervisor will be there a little before 8 or right at 8. Your guard. So for me, I left school, my attention was somewhere else. My mind wasn't on the job. So I was really careless with the job. But 15 minutes late, Oga go, they hassle you. But when Oga is relaxed, comes to work at 12 noon, what do you expect people under him to do? It does not matter, you know. So it's all leadership. It comes from the top and filters down to the bottom.
All right, Are, you want to contribute to the good side of Nigerian civil service? Is there any part of it that you think is good?
It's from the followers.
No.
They are not from space. Abi?
Yes, of course.
If they will pick a minister now, any of us there can be qualified. The question
You
is,
use the word qualify.
can be
Which
taken,
not everybody, not everybody.
The issue is this: when people get into power, something happens to them. All the laudable ideas that they used to canvas, they forget them. And again, one thing the woman failed to also understand: there are clerks in the civil service that have no tables. There are drivers that have no car they are driving. You know, they call it social employment. When you have people in candidates in that category, how do you now benchmark performance to now come up with the conclusion that we are the best? He didn't even say in West Africa, he said in the world.
She was being comical.
Okay.
Let her enjoy her fun.
Are you a civil servant?
She's trending.
Are you productive? What are you bringing to the table? These are questions my guests are asking.
Punctuality. Do you go to work on time?
Yes. Do you go every day, sir? Because there's some that just go Mondays and then the next time they go again is on Friday.
The particular governor in Imo State that said civil servants to come to work 3 times and use the rest to go to the farm.
Yeah.
And I'm asking myself, you see the problem that we have is big. I said it's big. The problem big.
It comes from the top. The governor was saying that. So
all right, let's move on, gentlemen. Let's move on.